Hello everyone, welcome to my channel and thank you so much for stopping by. Today I want to share my Christmas journal for 2024 with you. As usual, I have whipped it up really last minute and I don't think I started until December 1st, so I am a bit behind, but that's how things roll right now. And actually, I really do my Christmas journal at the last minute each year, but we have a puppy, as lots of you have seen on Instagram, and so I only have little bits of time here and there, so I decided I cannot go without a Christmas journal, so I whipped this one up really quickly and really love how it looks. So I used an old piece of quilt that was gifted to me, and I just collaged some fabrics on top. So I just played around with the fabrics, lined them up, and wrapped a few around to the back. And I did a blanket stitch around the edge. I have a chocolate brown at the bottom and kind of a gold bronzy color around the edges. I did run out of the brown thread, so I still have to finish the bottom, but that can be done anytime. It doesn't hinder the journal. So just a bit of collaging on the front, and I machine stitched all this down. And I just love that it's a thicker quilt piece, so it kind of flattened that down. And I usually, when I make a December journal, I kind of follow the December daily, where I take a picture. I try to take a picture every day. I don't usually succeed because I do forget. But I also journal, and I can collage or journal on those days. I don't always have to have a picture. So I am quite relaxed about that, because I know going into it that I'm probably not going to remember to take a photo every day, because there's so many other things going on, and I just want to be able to enjoy Christmas as well without having to always be looking for a moment to capture. But having said that, there's never a shortage of things to write or quotes. And sometimes my journal is simply just writing, the words "making merry" or "all is calm" or something about light and the feeling of the season. So many possibilities with the Christmas journal, but I do love these. I think they're one of my most favorite things that I make, and what I love about them is I don't overthink it. I whip it up so quickly, and I don't overthink any of it. So I think that's my favorite kind of journal, because it truly represents just me grabbing what I love, putting it in an order that I love. I don't have to worry about it being sewn in perfectly, or it just for me. So I really love these. I think they're some of my most favorite journals that I make. And I just have a little pile of fabrics over to the side that I might want to use collaging in the journal as I go. Some tape measure, just a little bit. So I have those over on the edge. That's what that's for. And I'll probably stick those in the back pocket. So for the beginning of the journal, I've used some Swiss dot fabric. I think this was a little dress that I tore apart and just turned it into a front and back pocket. And in the pocket, this was the bottom of a stationery box, and it's plain, but it's a great journaling spot. And maybe I'll just write a kind of a hello December letter on that, or I could collage and do some journaling. Lots of potential. And this is just a little alterations tag project that I made a couple years ago. And so just some fabric. And this page actually went in a little bit crooked, but like I said, that doesn't bother me. So I just took some fabric and made little corners. And in that, I found this beautiful little Christmas postcard and tucked that in there. So for this page, I could tuck in another, some more ephemera, or I could put a photo behind this, or I could write and do some journaling and tuck it in behind this. So I like the pocket right there. And on the back, I just did some collaging with some tissue papers. And this is a roll of paper that I have that I absolutely love. Fabric to break up the paper, a little bit more fabric. And I love the layering. I just love the bits and pieces sticking out. And a little journaling spot or photo spot. I could also stitch and collage on the back of this fabric or the front. I could put a little photo there as well. And this, I think, is one of my favorite parts of the journal. And I just recently bought this piece. It's a long piece, so it's the bottom of a garment, a vintage garment. And I was going to put it in there and just leave as is, but as I started looking at it, it was broken up into 3 sections. So the bottom, this middle section, and a top section. So I took some of the same fabric that the journal is made from, and I added the ribbon in the middle. So that worked out perfectly. And then I love the box that it creates. So I could collage in that box. I could sew in that. Yes, it would go through to the other side, but that's okay. Or I could stitch a piece and then glue it on. I could create a little journaling block there with some paper, you know, anything really. And then I love the fabric that's stitched into the middle here. So it's different than this side, but I just love the colors and the layers and the way it came together. And this is just an old document, and I have these botanical stickers that I've used in here a few times. Let me take that out for a second. And it went perfectly there. I think there was an embossed circle there already, so it just kind of fit right in. And so this is journaling space, or I can add collage work or photos. This is just some wrapping that I took off of something, so it was a bag. And it was already crumply, and I just love the texture and the sound for a Christmas journal. So I added this little advertisement piece in that little tuck spot that was just naturally created. So again, more space for writing or working on. Some see-through paper and some more bits of that paper. Oftentimes in my Christmas journals, I find or use a few favorite things, and then I repeat them through the journal. So I'll use this a couple times, or 2 or 3 times in the journal, and it gives it a cohesiveness and just keeps that theme and the color pattern going that I really like. And so a couple bits of old fabric here. There are 2 of them. And this is the other side of the old ledger. And now I do like pockets, but I don't create a lot of tuck spots. They're just not something I use a lot in my journals. But I found this little piece that I had created years and years ago in a little pile of little bits that I had. And so I thought, okay, well, that goes actually really well here because I like how the green plays off the green over here. So I can use that to tuck a photo, tuck journaling. I could also use this blank space for journaling down below. I could collage here. I could glue a photo. So actually, this would be, looking at it now, a perfect spot for a photo. And then down here, some journaling or something else. And you could even break it up if you wanted with a little strip of fabric or washi tape. So it's kind of how I look at my pages when I'm going through my Christmas journal. So this is also in the little book of botanical stickers that I have. And so I just put that there. So lots of blank space here, which is good. This was in, I think, the same stationery box that the cardboard piece and the cover came from. And this was a piece of wrapping paper, I believe. And it was already folded. It was already bent and ruffled and worn. So I left it like that and just stitched around the edges to make a pocket. And this was in the box, so I kept it with it. And I just love the gold on the edges. And then it has beautiful gold writing in the center. So that's tucked in there. And I could, of course, use this space. And then I could also tuck photos in the pocket. So not everything for me has to be visible. And this I could collage on as well. And this is an envelope that was already open like this. So I glued it to the back of this plain page, but I let it overlap a little bit. Number 1, so it wouldn't interfere with the fold, and number 2, so I could see it. And then I did a zigzag stitch here just to attach those 2 together and give a little bit of interest. So I folded this over so that I would remember that it is a tuck spot, that it is a pocket, that it would hold photos or memorabilia, anything like that. And then I created a little collage with paper and 2 pieces of fabric. This is all really simple, but I think that's kind of what I love the most about it. And it's just got so much potential, but it's beautiful as is. And this is a pocket with another one of the botanical stickers, and this is just a little edge of some piece of clothing, and then a couple pieces of prettiness stuck in the pocket there. So on the back of the postcard, I could attach a photo and journaling or journaling. So that's most likely what I would do. And then some beautiful space here for washi tape, for collaging, for writing. And then this was an old envelope on the back of the bag. I just wrapped it around with that paper that I love, and I stitched a piece of fabric here. I debated on stitching something here, and I still could. Maybe I will, but lots of space here to write and a little bit of lace. And then I created a pocket out of this button card. And after I did that, I thought, well, maybe I should have lined this with some wallpaper or something, but I still could go back and do that. I still could tuck it down in or just line up at the top to give it some interest. So, or I could put a photo, anything really. And here's the back of that beautiful piece and the simplicity of it with the floral fabric and the other side of that. So just love that. Some more writing space, and then just the fabrics, just to give it color and to, I don't know, I just love the fabrics in it. I love the feel of it. And then on this page, I created a little journaling spot right there. And there's the back, a little bit of fabric. And then I've tucked a few, like a Denison label and time card in there in case I want to use that. So the little bits of fabric, I will probably just stick them in there. So when I look at using my Christmas journal, I try to, I did do a photo a day. I used to do that. And then I started falling behind sometimes. So now I don't really put that pressure on myself. So if I think about it and I have something I want to remember, I will go ahead and take that picture and work on that. And sometimes I won't do a picture because sometimes there's just not something I think of taking a picture of, but there's always something to write about, whether it be something that we did and I don't have a photo, or just about the Christmas season and how special it is. And so then I had this piece that I grabbed, and I had already made this, but I thought, wow, that would actually go so well in here. So to use this, I would simply look through, and the back is even pretty, but I don't think I have a pocket except for the front and back that this is big enough to fit on. So I could clip it on if I don't want to lose the back, because I could journal on here or attach a photo. So I probably wouldn't glue this down, but I might paper clip it in or use a little binder clip of some sort, but it could go here, which I actually really like that. Or it could go on the back of this paper, and it kind of plays off what you can see peeking through this. And then it sticks out so you can see the numbers here, which I actually like that as well. So that's kind of gives more dimension. And then anyway, so that's kind of how I look at things like this. I could cut this in half and use, the upper and lower parts, but I'm pretty sure I won't do that. That's an option as well. So that's something I might just leave there to remember that I want to use it. And then the little bits and pieces that I have out. So I have the tape measure. That is something, I had a place I thought that might look good. And now, you could literally add it anywhere. It could go along there. Where was I thinking of putting that? It could go on it's upside down, but it could go on the bottom of one of these pages. I had a little spot, literally. It just fits in to so many places, but now I want to know where I wanted to put it so I can show you where I thought it might look the best. But if I don't find it, it'll show up in there eventually. It could go here, which I do actually like that. Maybe that was one of the spots I really liked. Just because I like when there are already spaces like this on paper or fabric, and I tend to try to fill them in. And I could have done that before I stitched it in, but I didn't think of it. So there's that option. I could even, there's the back side of it, but how pretty is that? I could just attach it flipped either way, but I could attach it to, and there's a 2 on there. So if I was doing December daily and wanted to use day 2, I could stitch this to this. And to this little edge. And sometimes I'll even take this, because these journals are soft and flexible, I will take it over to my sewing machine and just flip it inside out and stitch so that I know it's secure. So that's actually really pretty. So that's how I kind of use the little pieces in my journal. And on pages like this, if I wanted to do, you know, some, it's a little bright, but I mean, it might match if I cut it down a little bit. But if I wanted to do some collaging, if I wanted to actually, you know, I could hide it behind the lace so it was a little more muted. And then I could put something up at the top like journaling. I could collage another little piece on this and just play in the journal. And actually doing this right now is making me really excited and wanting to get started. So I am a little behind, but who's counting? I just have to work a little faster. And I'm still trying to finish up, little playing card in here, still trying to finish up some slow stitching things. So the puppy that we have now, Addington, he's 16 weeks yesterday, and I'm trying to train him the best that I can. Everyone is helping, but it's mostly me because I'm the one who has the most availability, but it is putting me a little behind in some other things. So, but anyway, I am so thrilled that I got this done. I absolutely love it. And I think I really need to just make more journals like this and share them, because they're my favorite way to make a journal and my favorite style. So this is my Christmas 2024 journal, and I hope you have enjoyed watching this, and I'm so glad you stopped by. And maybe what I'll do is try to come back and work in my journal, kind of like I was doing now, but just talk it out and work for the camera. So hopefully I can do that, and I'll see you soon.